Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Pace Farm Eggs. Hello and welcome to Classic Restos as we power on through Series 29. But first, we must see this. It's thanks to Shannons. Ask about multi-policy discounts and sign up for the Shannons Club. Call 134646 for a quote and see more at shannons.com.au. For oils, coolants, additives and technical assistance, Oil Right, use Penrite. And Hare and Forbes has the range. Buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. Well, here we are, just south of Sydney at Woronora Dam for the New South Wales Muscle Car Association Concours Day. Yeah, but before we start today's show, we've got to wait for the dam supervisor to bring the dam key to open the dam gate so we can get into the damn place. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, I'll at least tell you this. It is a spectacular location, Woronora Dam. It supplies water to Sydney's southern suburbs and the northern suburbs of the Illawarra region. The impounded 71,790 megalitre container seems a perfect place to grab a drink. Let's face it, there's enough of it to go around. I love things that ooze history, and this is certainly another significant Sydney landmark. Construction of the dam began back in 1927. It is the fifth dam built as part of Sydney's water supply. Woronora Dam was completed in 1941 at a cost of around $13 million in today's terms. Woronora Dam is curved in appearance and is classed as a mass gravity dam, remaining in position under its own weight. The dam wall has a height of 66 metres and a length of 390 metres. And I've told you before, no climbing on the damn wall. Get off the damn thing. So in all, this should be a damn good episode. It's time now to go and see who and what showed up at this sensational concourse event. The 2015 New South Wales Muscle Car Association, the Concours Day. We have Greg. How are you, Greg?
Good, thanks, Fletch. How are you?
Great. Great location, right?
Beautiful, yeah, nice and quiet. Yeah. And, you know, it's good to get out in a bit of nature.
Absolutely, and sitting under that nature, a sensational 71 Corvette. Now, tugs on the heartstrings here when we think back when we were kids and what cars we remember. Yeah. Where does a Corvette go back with you?
I was walking to primary school and I could hear this rumbling come up behind me, and I've turned around and saw this white, same model as mine, coming down the road, and I just stopped and watched it till it got out of sight, and I thought, I'm going to own one of those cars one day. It took me till I was 50 years old, but I've got it and just love it, everything about it.
This car though, the green, a sensational power to weight ratio too, the 454. It must be a very torquey car, it must be like a bullet to drive.
It is. You can, like coming up Mount Uzi on our way here, just left it in fourth gear the whole time. Third gear is the gear that it gets going in. A lot of torque, 500 foot-pounds of torque. 365 horsepower. It's a heavy car, but still that motor gets it going, and it's really fun to drive.
Let's look at the interior for a sec. Sensational black trim. What you've done there is amazing. The factory tag there still hanging on the piece of string. I love that.
Yeah, look, like I said, I wanted one when I was a kid, and I thought if I ever got one that I would wanted it as if I'd gone into the showroom and bought one. I wanted to know what it was like to own one as it was new. So that's why I put the ply tyres on it. Yeah. Not as good as the modern cars to drive with the ply tyres and the steering box, but I wanted to know what it was like to drive a new.
It's the period correct feeling, isn't it, with something like that? It's a bit of a trade-off. Now, when you got the car, I mean, obviously, ex-spray painter, you told me before the camera started rolling, so what condition was she in when you got it?
She was in pretty good condition. Really, it was mostly the wiring on the car needed fixing, and I just, but there was 2 chrome vent balls on the dash, and all the plastic and all the chrome had gone off, and I thought, I've got to change them. I just can't stand looking at that yellowy plastic looking stuff with the chrome. So, but I didn't realise that I had to pull the whole dash out.
Of course.
To get to those chrome balls.
You don't think for one second it would just be an easy job to get those chrome balls out, do you, Greg?
Look, it's definitely not an Australian car. Australian cars are easy to work on. What
you think's going to take a Saturday morning can sometimes take a whole weekend. Greg, thanks for being on today's show, mate. Love the Corvette. Thank you so much for coming along today, eh?
No worries. Thank you, Fletch. Thanks very much for coming.
You are watching the 2015 New South Wales Muscle Car Association Concours Day, and you're seeing it first on Classic Restos. Back with more right after this.
In 1926, Australia's Penrite Oil Company was established. Almost 90 years of research, development and refining under the harsh Australian conditions has made Penrite Oil what it is today. Precision, performance, reliability and protection. Championship winning products. Trust Penrite.
Every weekend around Australia, motoring enthusiasts get together to share their passion for cars and bikes. It's a passion that brings us together. All sorts of people, all sorts of cars and bikes. From the classics of today to the classics of tomorrow. At Shannons, we understand enthusiasts. So when it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
If you need a new piece of equipment for your workshop, you need Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Hare and Forbes Machinery House have showrooms around Australia and New Zealand that will have you browsing for hours. See the largest range of industrial and workshop DIY tools. You will be greeted by friendly, helpful staff, and you can buy from anywhere online at machineryhouse.com.au. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Find your closest store at machineryhouse.com.au. It's always good to have an HG Holden on the show, but what about one of these, an HG panel van from the Sydney County Council, being restored from the ground up by this guy, Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Not bad, Fletch. How you going?
Good, mate. You've done a tremendous job here. I can remember the colour scheme as a kid of these getting around the Sutherland Shire.
Yeah, silver pine green is the fleet colour for Sydney County Council.
Now, this particular car here, I want to know how long it took you to get it looking like this. What was the panel van like when you found it?
Yeah, I picked up a rolling shell off in a poor condition for $1,000. And to be honest, there's 3 vehicles in this car, and one of them is the Sydney County Council. And I built the car in 6 months full-time, just to get it ready for the Holden Day. Sadly, I didn't get it finished in time, so I managed to get it to the one the year after.
Mate, this would have to be the only one around Sydney, if not the state.
I haven't seen another one. To my knowledge, it's the only one left in existence.
Mate, the attention to detail, even the bracketry up on the turret there holding the timber ladders, even the ladders are hard to find. I mean, everything you look in the back, it's hard to find. This is an incredible... where did you... You must have had pictures to go off. I mean, you've done your research here, Dave.
Yeah, I approached Ausgrid, which is the rebadged Sydney County Council, and they have an amazing archive of historical information, and they were more than willing to help me out, and they gave me everything I needed to get the car to the state it's in, and I believe this is about as authentic as you can get.
Tell us what's in the back.
It was a meter testing van, so it had all the equipment supplied by Ausgrid that they still had 50 years later in their warehouse, and they've given it all to me to use it as a display item to promote Ausgrid. And the deal with them giving me all the stuff is every year I have to take Santa to their Christmas party.
That's a tough gig.
Did that 2 weeks ago.
So it's all 99-year lease with that stuff?
Yeah, well, it's on permanent loan until I'm finished with it.
What's the deal with the passenger up front?
He's my mate. He's one of my employees.
No arguments there, mate.
No, but he's really good at fixing blown fuses.
Rightio, engine up front. We've naturally got the Holden Red engine. Have you done anything there?
Well, it's an original 179 HP block, but a pretty hot 192 now.
Yep.
With twin carburetors on a Waterford manifold, all period correct. It's a factory 179 Waterford manifold that's only made for 179s.
Yeah.
And I've got ventilated drums that are factory, and also the heavier duty shocks, and I've lowered it 3 inches just to finish off the whole facade or fantasy of this car being a rapid response vehicle.
Mate, it's cool all day long. I mean, it looks great, doesn't it? I mean, the paintwork's fantastic. Inside, there's 3 on the tree. You've still retained all that, and a standard bench seat. I mean, it's just, its archaicness is just fantastic. You've replicated it so good, mate. Thanks for being on today's show.
Thanks, Fletch. Thanks for that. It's fun.
You know, one thing I love about doing Classic Restos is that every job I go to, it's like a box of chocolates in respect of you don't know what you're going to find next. And it just goes to show that no matter what you want to restore, the only limit is your own imagination. Time for Brett on today's show. How are you, Brett?
Good, thanks, Fletch.
That's right, mate. A glorious 1972 XA two-door Coupe. What a stunning car this is as well.
you.
Hey, how long have you had this?
About 11 years.
Mate, what inspired you to go the Coupe?
I've always loved Fords, and I've had an XA, XB, XW, XY, so it was just a natural progression to get a Coupe.
Yep. How long was your build process?
About 6 years, yeah, all up, yeah. Full restoration. The bodywork had been started when I got it, but pretty much restored all the driveline, all the interior, everything else on the car.
So when you got the car, it was a bit of a mess?
It was. The bodywork had been done, it had been painted, but there was quite a bit missing, as they normally are. There's always a few things you've got to find. And
There's something about these fat coupes, and when you look at that sumptuous interior, the high back buckets, the white, the sweep around dash, I mean, you've got to give it to Ford back in their day for their styling and their design. I reckon it's a pretty cool shape.
it's quite comfortable too. I drove it all the way to Echuca. Didn't have a sore back, so those high back seats they're good for the open road, long driving. Yeah, it really is a grand tour. I love it. Yeah.
Colour scheme too, it's just like a big bumblebee, you know, the yellow and the black.
Yeah, the kids call it that. Yeah, I get a lot of high fives and a lot of waves and thumbs up when I'm driving around, especially from the kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, the big Clevo up front, what have you done there, Brett?
It was the original block, so I didn't want to go too crazy. Plus, it's an auto, so it's a great cruiser. So it's pretty much stock, mole cam. Just little things. I got the heads done, closed chamber heads instead of open chamber. Holly, Edelbrock manifold, Edelbrock water pump. So it's a little bit better than stock. It's probably about 330 horsepower. So. But it really gets up and goes on the open road.
It's the drivability with 330 horsepower, isn't it? I mean, you've got the torque of the 8 as well. You've got that effortless, smooth power. Everything just rolls along nicely. Now, with your transmission, C4 or FMX?
FMX, yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty much just stock. I just wanted to leave it, pretty much like factory.
Good for you, Brett. No, it's a cool thing. It's not often that these coupes do come along on Classic Restos, and there's just something about the orange wall tyres, the period correctness of the car. That 351 GT badge down on the lower part of the guard, or the fender, if you're watching in the United States of America. As a kid growing up, there was just something about seeing 351.
Yes, it would have said 428, but 351 will do.
Our kids growing up in the United States of America, they got to see that badge.
Yes,
anyway, been a pleasure, Brett. Thank you so much, mate.
Honestly, thank you, Fletch.
You're right. If you can see yourself travelling to the United States of America in 2016, why not consider a Fletch Tour? Have a look at this. There is nothing quite like a Fletch Tour. Carlisle All Ford Nationals, GM Nationals and Chrysler Nationals await you.
coming on the Fletch Tour was really great.
The people that run the tour are fantastic.
Experience Route 66 from Chicago to Vegas, or choose the Detroit Tour, attending the Woodward Dream Cruise.
If you're going to travel anywhere, you've got to do a Fletch Tour.
On a Fletch Tour, you're looked after every step of the way.
See fletchtours.com or contact All Things Travel, Lara. If you need a new piece of equipment for your workshop, you need Hare and Forbes Machinery House. From a garage jack through to a lathe, Hare and Forbes has the range. And Hare and Forbes Machinery House are Australian owned, established since 1930. You will be greeted by friendly, helpful staff, and you can buy from anywhere online at machineryhouse.com.au. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Find your closest store at machineryhouse.com.au.
Penrite, Australian-made, family-owned and operated. Make premium quality engine and racing oils, warranty-approved coolants, automatic transmission and manual gear oils, a complete range of engine and fuel additives, heavy-duty and industrial products for every application. Visit penriteoil.com for more information. Penrite, Australian-made for Australian conditions since 1926.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Time now for a 1974 LH L34 Torana, and we have Graham. Hello, Graham.
G'day, Fletch. How you going, mate?
Good, good. Now, this car has got a stack of history. I'm busting to hear. Tell us some of it.
Right. It started its life first off with the Mobile Holden dealer team. There was 3 L34s in the camp. There was the one car which was Brockies, the number 2 Bondies, and then this one was used basically just as a runaround car. Harry used to drive it around. There's footage of it going over San Remo Bridge on Phillip Island with Bondi in the car going to Phillip Island to race in the Man Champ. Then it got converted into the rally car, so it was there was only one rally car which Colin used to drive, and George Shepherd was the navigator. Then Fletch had sort of had done a few races, Bega Rally. I think it won one race in its time with them. Then it got sold off to, I think it was Barry Nixon Smith, bought it, who didn't do a lot with it. Then it got sold to Pat Collins, who was in Liverpool, a dealership there. Then it went to David Thompson down in Tasmania, which there was do a lot of rallying down there. Then it went to his navigator, Mike Tubb. It went from Mike Tubb to the last owner, which was David White.
What incredible history. I mean, these cars now, certainly in this day and age, they're getting thin on the planet, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So I'd like to preserve it. You know, it's just great to see, and to have, I've got a lot of photo history of it and letters from different people, letters from Harry about it.
How long have you had it?
I've had it since 2012, so I've only had it like three to 4 years now.
Did you feel pretty excited the day that you got it?
Yeah, I was. I had to pinch myself when I actually went to pick it up. Pick it up from David White's house.
Do you ever sit in the shed with the door down and with no one around, and maybe get a beer and a chair, and do you talk to it? You do, don't you?
Well, I do have a beer sitting there looking at it, yeah. I do. I don't know if I talk to it, but
it's all right, mate. We're all car guys. We get it.
Yeah, I know. I do get out there by myself. But
Graham, thanks for being on today's show and bringing this along, hanging around today. It's been a bit of a chockers day here today. Good numbers here at the Woronora Dam, and getting later into the day. And thanks for sticking around and being on today's episode, mate.
No problems. That was good.
We've With me now I have a member, Steve, from the New South Wales Muscle Car Association. How you doing, Steve?
I'm really good, Fletch, out here on a lovely Sunday afternoon.
Good on you, mate. Tell us about your club and what you stand for here today.
Our club, we formed the initial Muscle Car Club back in 0203, and then it sort of transpired into this newer club in 2008, which is the New South Wales Muscle Car Association. And we stand for all things muscle car, but original cars is more our passion. We're not really into the fully modified cars, and we like to see original Camaros, Corvettes, Chargers, Toranas, GTs, you know,
all the period correct stuff.
All Brock Commodores, you know, anything that's Mustangs, you know, and we like a nice Ford hardtop. Are really nice cars, you know. We just like to see them all fairly original and in stock condition, and some members have had cars for years. Like,
I love the lateral approach. It's not just one particular.
Oh no, well, that's why, you know, we are the Muscle Car Club and not so much a GT club or a Monaro club. You know, so, you know, that's the way we look at it, and other members of the club, you know, that's why we have so many members and everyone's intertwined, because we're all muscle car people, you know.
Now, you've got something coming up. Want to share that with us?
Yes, in February the 7th next year, we have the Orana down in the Illawarra district, and it's a show that we've, this is the 4th year, I think. We've already raised $60,000 in the past for Lifeline. And it's done in conjunction with Hog's Breath and other sponsors down in the area, and it's a very successful show. It's at Berkeley on the Sunday the 7th of February.
Now, for more information for this day in 2016, autorama.illawarra.webs.com, website across the bottom of the screen right now. Now, Steve, before I let you go, I have to compliment you here on the venue. Even with the our own resident monitor here this afternoon eating sausage. How awesome's that?
Yes, it was a big surprise, and I think the main feeder was a gentleman called Fletch.
He had a bit of a chicken kebab as well. That's all right.
And I think there could even be some on-screen video of him in action.
Quite possibly. Steve, thanks for the invitation for yourself and Manuel here today.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate you coming to see muscle cars.
Good on you.
And obviously there's the odd car here that wasn't that muscly, but we still invite them along and welcome them with open arms.
They're all attributing to keep the dream alive.
They are the dream alive. It's what we all want with Aussie and American. You know, it's all good things, you know.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, thanks, Fletch. We'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Here we go. Now, this is interesting because of the fact that this guy here drove all the way down from Newcastle. Hey, Newcastle fella. How are you, Dave?
I'm well, Fletch. Thank you.
Good to see a Novocastrian here, eh?
See you here too.
Yeah, Newcastle people, good. Got a bit of a soft spot for Newcastle. Used to live there many years ago. And I just think it's nice you've made the trip down here to south of Sydney.
It was worth it.
Absolutely. Now, you've got an incredible, unrestored 1971 HG Monaro here. Now, it's had paint, right, but it hasn't had much else.
Not much else. It's virtually as it came out of the factory, apart from some paintwork. I bought it in 1977 as an apprentice and had it ever since.
How cool's that? I mean, the introduction too of the 308 as well. Original engine still there?
Original engine's in it, gearbox, diff.
Over the term of you having the car, was just how many years?
It's about 39 years now.
And when did you take it off the road to paint it?
1979 it went off the road.
Isn't that amazing? To have a car for 39 years, took it off the road in 79, gave it a paint job. Here we are today. The interior, it stood up so well over that time.
Yeah, it's like new inside.
When you got the car 39 years ago, I guess it's that type of car where appreciation evolves with yourself. It probably means more to you now than what it did back then.
Well, I bought it to drag race, which I did, out at the old Castlereagh drag strip. I dragged it quite a bit, and I thought, well, this is too good I'll wreck this. So I put it away in 79, and it sat there, you know, all those years, 25 years. I got it out, and you do appreciate what it is.
I think it's pretty cool too. You've still got the 1979 Rego sticker there.
Yeah, it's untouched. Yeah, it's pretty much, you know, a survivor car.
David, thank you very much for being on the show. You've rounded off today's episode quite nicely. Again, it's one of these cliches. It's a 1971 HG Monaro. Not every day of the week we see one of these cars. And again, the distance that you've travelled down from Newcastle, mate, Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fletch. I watch you every night, or every once a week.
Oh, you
Thanks,
do?
mate.
You should watch the repeat as well on Sunday afternoons.
Oh, we tape the repeat.
Well, there you go. That was just some of the 2015 New South Wales Muscle Car Association Concours Day, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Now, as I say at the end of every episode, until next week, no matter where you're watching from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Pace Farm Eggs.